still uploading, preparing to live stream. The voice is also not good, mine today.
I can hear you.
The voice is also not good, mine.
I can hear you.
So, namaste. Welcome everybody to today's live stream at YouTube from the Healer Community Channel TV. I'm very proud to present this evening Bruce Martin, which is a Reiki healer and a wellness coach and a health harmonizer. And the topic of today's stream will be self-healing, energy management, and how you can maintain a top level of vibration. So welcome to you, Bruce. It's a great honor and a big blessing you are here. And we are very curious to hear about your wisdom, your experiences, and your advices. And I welcome Bruce. So
Thank you.
I pass the word straight over to you. And,
Alrighty. I'm Bruce Martin. I go by Bruce Lee Reiki Services. I've been a Reiki master for almost a year and a half, and I'm really enjoying this a truly fascinating journey. So I'm helping people learn more about self-healing through energy sources, and teaching them some things that they may not know about themselves or their environment.
Yes, that's wonderful, Bruce. I'm very curious to hear more about it. And as we have been also talking in the last weeks together, I know that it's a great wisdom you have to serve and a great power as well. And I was also blessed by get feel about your power. And as a coach and healer, sometimes also need some help on my energy level, especially as a healer and coach. When you get so much into this kind of work, you have to maintain these energies constantly. So sometimes we are not able, and we need to help each other. And that's why we know each other and we help each other.
That is true. I am finding out that a new passion is emerging in me, and that is a role of being a healer to the healers.
Yes, exactly.
And it's fascinating because it's not just I want to go out and heal everybody in the world. I mean, it would be a nice thing to do, but that's not really, feasible. But to be able to help the people who are out there helping others. And like you said, there are times when we as healers, we don't see what's going on within us. And so we need an outside helper, an advisor, a healer, to spot some things that need to be opened up.
Absolutely. Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, it is also as a tarot reader. If I'm as me, which is also a tarot reader, if I need an important reading, I'm not doing it for myself. I'm going to my friend, and so she comes to me. So we have all to help each other, and we have a great task in the world, isn't it? There is so many people which need our help, so many seekers. And it's getting more and more. The amount is very huge, and people like we is very needed. And so that's why this is also the mission of my channel. We have to help each other. It is not about competition. It is about working together and building up something big. And that's my mission here at the channel. And so I'm very glad you are here, Bruce.
Thank you. I wholeheartedly agree with you on your mission. And
Yes, I know. So the first question I have to you is, what is self-healing, Bruce, from your view?
What is self-healing? I have to go through my own experiences to kind of maybe clarify a little bit of that. But through my learnings, I've figured out that we are we are supposed to be able to heal ourselves naturally. We start out in the world that way, and the world doesn't treat us very good at times, and the society, the environment, all the things going around, things that we inject into ourselves, and then we get off track. So we need to get back to raising, like you said at the beginning, raising our energy vibrational levels, our frequencies. When that happens, we become more perfect, as we should be, self-healers, getting us back to homeostasis, which is our original state of well-being. We want to have balance, we want to have rhythm, and we want to have harmony.
Exactly.
It's not just physical, it is also including mental, emotional, and spiritual. So what I'm finding out that in order to self-heal, all of a sudden we're discovering these modalities that have been around for centuries. Ancient medicine. Chinese have Qigong. I've studied that. Reiki is through Japan. I'm an attuned master and teacher for that.
Yes.
Dowsing is another form. It's a geo energy modality. And there are other things out there that people can study and learn to help others. And I've combined a few of those. And I'm finding that it's very helpful with a lot of situations. What we're finding is we have energy blocks.
Yes, exactly.
Where we get stagnated because we've done something to ourselves. We've thought something, we've gone through an experience, maybe a bad experience. I think of military and PTSD issues. And I think of people who have autoimmune diseases like fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue. Those things are a combination of many sources of issues. And there's not any one solution. Medicine doesn't have a solution for it. We don't have a complete solution for it. We can help out by understanding the relationship of our energies, our physical energies, our spiritual energies, our chakra energies, our energy centers outside of us. And when we can get to those and start breaking them open and balancing them, we start having success. So self-healing for me is finding more tools, and they're not just the energy modalities. I have other tools in my wellness center that I use on a daily basis. Healthy water, healthy food, healthy supplements, good sleep. There's many things that make up the healing process. I have people that come in and do massage. I have friends who are chiropractors, other healing modalities, naturopathic doctors, and I have like an infrared sauna. There are just a variety of things that you can do to increase your chances for healing. And the more you do, the better off you are.
Yes, and not every method is matching with everybody, isn't it? So
no.
Yes, you are actually not using the same methods like me.
No, they're entirely different.
Yes, so yes, it is all about the consciousness, isn't it? I mean, healing can be only a thought, a positive intention. So when I do, for example, an energy transmission, I have an intention to help a certain person, and deep intention, and I go into my heart and I say a blessing or a prayer, I close my eyes and I send the energy. And just because of this deep intention, it becomes to a connection. And through this connection, there is this thread in between two persons. We can actually send energy like we are sending energy through a water pipe,
Yes.
So it needs not to be that the person is in front of us, of course. That's famous. The point is only, that how can we teach human being to use these methods in daily level, to become more conscious that they have to maintain these energies in daily life. So not frequently only, let's say, going to a yoga course or frequently do a meditation. It is actually a need every day to check on these energies and to maintain it. Like if it's necessary to clean, we have to clean out negative thoughts, for example, negative energy. And also we do need protections, of course, especially as healers, we need strong protections. So we have to maintain this protection every day, from my experience. And also people has, because of maintaining, that means healing, for me. Maintaining it every day and every time when you drink a glass of water, put in positive energy is a healing act, isn't it?
Yes.
Every prayer is a healing act. Every prayer in front of a meal is a healing act.
Correct.
That's from my view, self-healing. So it has so much to do with consciousness.
Yes, it is. I would like to introduce a new concept to our listeners. I've been teaching this for a little over a year. It's a scale of energy that I invented, and it's based on the life force energies that we have. And that's what Reiki deals with, is life force energies. We receive the energies from the universe, we direct it to the people. The energies are intelligent, they do the work, we're just the conduit. We're pulling it in and we're sending it out. Then it takes over, and wherever it needs to go, it will start working on things. But where are we at? How do we know how much energy we really have? We can say, well, I'm tired today, so I don't have much energy. Nobody has really quantified. Well, there are some instruments out there that can read your life force. There are instruments for that. They're starting to come out. They're pretty expensive, but a practitioner could invest into one and make good use of it. Mine is a devised system on a scale of 0 to 50. And I'm able to determine either through muscle testing, which a lot of practitioners do, but I also use dowsing tools, which is via dowsing rod. And I'm able to determine a person's energy level. And it's based on a scale of 0 to 50. I don't know how. I didn't know where the scale was going when I invented it, but as we went through and experimented, we just asked ourselves, well, just imagine if Jesus or Buddha were on the planet right now and we're trying to test them as a level, what would they be? And my dowsing rod went around 50 times. So I said, okay, that's it. That's the limit. That's where we need to get to.
That's very great.
The closer we are to 50, the more healing powers we have, because we're operating at a higher frequency.
Yes. So, but none of us can be a 50 at the moment. Or do you guess there is any human being in the world? Actually, I heard there is always constantly, how much is this? 240 enlightened beings in the world. So I guess these enlightened beings, they must be near to a 50, isn't it? But average people it never will be possible actually to reach a 50 in a normal life.
No, I've run into several people, and you can kind of tell they are more activated. They're more, they're full of self-love, and they have enough energy coming into them that they're able to expend that extra energy out to others. I think that's what I'm finding out. Because if you don't have enough of your own energy, you certainly can't give away your energy, but it can be stolen from you. I mean, other people are energy stealers. They're like energy vampires.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why we have to protect ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
Surround ourselves with proper healing light, for protection.
Mm. But when we are actually giving energy, that's my experience. We become like a vessel, and
Yes.
there comes more and more energy from the divine,
Yeah.
spring, and it
Yeah.
is endless. So even we give, and at the end of the day, we have been given so much. We are not tired. It is the
No,
opposite. We are totally energized, isn't it? Mm.
yeah, because we've had so much flow of energy through, and a lot of that energy drops off on us before it ever gets to our clients.
Yes, exactly. That's
So we're
such
being
a
fed all the time. Every time we feed somebody, we're being fed
yes,
by the
exactly.
same source.
This is a divine miracle, isn't it?
It is fascinating. Uh,
Yeah.
would you like to hear what the different levels are, and maybe a little bit about what I found out
Yes,
um,
sure.
with people? Uh, an average is 20-25. That's kind of an average person.
Yes,
Um, and after reading and understanding what health issues they may have, um, it's becoming evident that people who are levels 13 and below have already the need for medical intervention.
yes,
They already have a chronic disease or something that is requiring them to take medication and do a lot of doctoring and
yes.
trying to help themselves. So their body energies are not high enough for self-healing.
Mm.
So the level that I found where that starts is at 20, and 20 above, the body is starting to be able to heal itself, going
Yes,
back to homeostasis. And then in the 30s, it seems like the mind and the body are working together to create a better self-healing environment for the body. Then
yes,
we get 40 and above, then the spirit, mind, and body are working more completely, synergistically for
yes.
self-healing. And when
Mm.
that happens, um, people are elevated. They have more energy. They have more energy to give. They can get through stress situations that come up that may bring them down.
Yes,
So my goal with people is to get those energy levels up so that their body and their mind and their spirit can start taking over. I
yes,
don't have to continue to feed them then, but we are looking at other things that they need to do: sleep, diet, exercise, attitude. There's a
yes,
multiple things that affect your energies.
absolutely.
So, yeah. So we try to get them as high as they can and then maintain them and then let them work on themselves. And we teach them how to do that as well.
That's very interesting, Bruce. So that brings me to the question of what is the most important factors of energy management. So just to say the most important five ones from your view.
Basically, I just kind of brushed over them, but yes, your attitude is one.
Yes.
Um, your belief system is another.
Mhm.
These add up to create your levels of energy.
Yes.
So those two things: your sleep, your how you eat, how you exercise,
Yes.
what what other environmental issues that may be bombarding you. Those have to be tried to be identified separately and worked on differently. But for any person, it's just like, how are you going to stay healthy? Well, I'm going to exercise. I'm going to eat right.
Yes.
I don't have to be on a diet, but you do need to not eat the wrong things
Yes.
and
Yes.
lead the wrong kind of life and put yourself under a lot of stress. And you have to be able to recreate. You have to have a recreational program in your spare time, because there's so many people that have like 2 and 3 jobs,
Yes.
and they're running from one place to the other place, and each job has its own stress levels. So stress is a huge factor in
Energy.
healing our energy. Yeah,
Absolutely. So, well, there is two other factors. I think this is also very important for me. For example, is the spiritual practices,
right.
uh, which is very important. This can be many various kind of things. Some people do yoga, do meditation. I also would say prayers is also a spiritual practice.
Right.
Qigong, Tai Chi, there is many things, you know, and of course, many people would say we do not have time for it. And that's the main reason why they do it regularly. But I think they would find time if they would cut off some time, for example, which they use for social media or watching movies on TV, you know, or reading newspaper, reading the news, which doesn't help them actually to get into a high energy level. It's the opposite; it brings them down. So.
Right.
After a stressful day, you know, at the end of the day, to watch only the TV is
That's
actually,
not the right thing to do.
yes,
I would
totally the
recommend
wrong
it.
thing. But this is average of people is doing it because they sense they're tired. They're tired out. They're like a pressed lemon, you know, and I can only sit in front of the TV or a dead fly. And so there is actually, you know, how can we overcome actually this inner, I say, this inner beast, which constantly turns us down, you know, and let us being lazy, sitting in front of the TV. How can we overcome this? You know, how can we get this passion and this power to overcome this? Do you suggest anything about it?
That's probably the most difficult thing when you look at other businesses that are in the health industry, such as fitness centers. I have a wellness center, it's not a fitness center, but trying to attract the clients, for one, to get in and do something for themselves in their busyness, and in their mode of lack of motion.
Yes,
They have to get motivated somehow. Unfortunately, the most times I've seen people really motivated is when they have to be motivated because they are so sick that
yeah,
they are out there hunting for some other alternative source of getting healthier.
exactly,
You know,
exactly.
there's,
When
there's
they are pushed only and they can't do anything else anymore, you know. That's
they're already tired out. They don't have the energy to do anything else.
yes, but I think this is connected, Bruce, you know, with many people are not really conscious about that they are the responsible one, the only responsible person for their health and
Yes,
for their well-being, you know. So
I
they do
agree.
not take responsibility. If they would take responsibility, they would only eat healthy foods, you know.
Mhm.
They would do nothing against their body, like smoking, drinking a lot of alcohol, or
Right.
having not enough of sleep. So they are not conscious that they should actually be the master about their life and about their body. And that's something we get not teach in the school as well, isn't it?
Yes, when we have somebody who's willing to look at something, we have a lot of information and education to offer people, but they do have to be self-motivated, and our society is against that.
Yes,
The American society is against self-activation, actualization, motivation. It's glued in front of the TV, and it's a lot of mind control out there. I mean,
yes,
it's
of
true.
course. That's
Um,
another
so
aspect of everything, isn't it?
that's another whole subject.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yes, of
But
course.
but to get the information out to people, to offer them hope, if we can offer them hope,
Yes,
they'll go. There might be a spark, just enough of a spark that we can get them ignited to do something for themselves. Once they do, I can help anybody any way they want to be helped, but I
yes,
can't help anybody if they don't want to be helped. Well, Reiki is a perfect example because our our motto is for the highest good of all, only for the highest good of all. And if a person is not willing to receive the energy and the healing from the energy, they can block it.
yes,
And I could
absolutely.
send energy all day long to somebody who would do no good at all. They
Yes,
have to receive it. They have to accept it. and they have to take responsibility to start doing something for
Yes,
themselves.
they have to trust you, isn't it? If they are actually doubting about your abilities, not trusting you, they're totally closed. That's I also experienced this.
Yeah.
So when somebody comes to me for a healing or for a reading with doubt, I sense it immediately because it's so difficult to connect. I actually
Yes.
tendentially tell them that there is no meaning to do the reading or the healing because
Right.
it's a waste of energy.
Well, waste of their time, waste of your time, waste of their money.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
yeah.
They have to trust us.
I think part of it is I don't know as if they don't trust us. We're in a different system than what the system is teaching them. So that's a bit of an untrust. I think they have a lot of self-doubt. I think society has pushed in a lot of questioning self-doubt in themselves.
Absolutely.
That they're not capable of doing something. The people that I see that are more responsible for that kind of action for themselves and to take on responsibility for other people, they're other entrepreneurs. They're people who are in business for themselves. And the people who work for somebody on an hourly job tend not to have that motivation.
Yes, no. They are not self-empowered, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's also one thing which is in the education system very low, and also to teach us how much power we have. So they never really know, and how can they expect somebody has more power than themselves? So,
right. And then if they see the more power that's out there, they're looking at, oh, they can control me, or I don't have control over them, or it's all a control issue, which
yes,
really goes back to self. If you have self-love, you will have self-control. If you have self-control, you don't need to control anybody else.
Absolutely, yes.
The out of control people who are control freaks, as we call them, a lot of them are just so insecure, or they're just so greedy. That's where they're at.
Yes, that's all based in fear, of course,
Fear.
That's the only feeling. That this is actually the main feeling, the base feeling of human beings. I would say 80% of human beings live only in fear in daily life. Any kind of fear. I also know this from my readings, fear of failure, fear of rejection. There is a list of fears, fear of dying, fear of sickness. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It is. Some of those fears are not just society based. I've had experience with people who have built up many fears over their lives. It's a lot of childhood home situations that they're in abuse or sexually abused or physically abused. And so their fear factor comes from a different source. It's an internal thing. If they can work their way out of that, they will do much better for themselves. They're more motivated to live a fear-free life, I guess.
Yes. That's where I'm working on with people, to release everything in past, in the relationships, in past relationships, in the childhood, all these traumas, and they have just never been really healing, and they have never been forgiving the people. So they carry this all with them on the shoulder. It's a big package.
It is.
They walk through the whole life with this big package, which gets actually bigger and bigger, and it gets more heavy and heavy, and some more other and negative energies is sticking on this package. And even then, maybe they would like to get into spirituality, but they can't because they're in the darkness with all this they carry with them. So there I am helping the people to release all these negative energies so they come into a pure stage where they are actually able again to connect to soul and to start to use all these spiritual practices and with results. So
right. Absolutely. Yeah, you have to take them through a journey, an internal journey. I went through a lot of that self-discovery going into college and reading all these 1970s self-help books of, Power of the Positive Mind. There's all kinds of things that were out there in those days, and they're still out there, but I don't know, you have to be self-motivated to find out those things too.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, for everybody, of course, it is a journey, and every soul is on a different level, isn't it? So some is on the top already in their development, and some is on the start.
Right.
So we cannot compare, of course, and we have to go all through all these layers of
Right.
Of life, or many lives, many lifetimes maybe, to reach finally the goal, to become enlightened, or to go back to the divine source. Right. So we can never compare to each other also. No. So
there's a lot of comparison going on. Like, I'm not, you're better than me, or it creates a dichotomy, a flow of negative energy around it.
Absolutely, yes. So one other question, Bruce, is how important is environment regarding to your energy level, to our energy level? Because I have been heard a lot about, and I know you have a lot to tell about. It is very interesting.
I do. This is a little bit in the Reiki teachings, because they say, clear your house, smudge it, do a lot of things to make it a more livable situation. Again, they don't know the quantification of it. I learned that from in the dowsing part of, we have energy levels in every place on Earth. So depending on where your house is built, it doesn't matter how old or how new your house is.
Yes.
I'm finding out that we have sources of energy from under the ground called geopathic stress. And yes, that usually comes from 4 different things. Where the earthquakes are, you'll have faults. When you have underground running water, you have underground aquifers, and you have different soil patterns changing underneath the ground. They all throw off different levels of energies. Yes. And there's the energetic magnetic force grid around the earth that either steps in and either helps us out and find good paths of good energy, yeah, or they may cross with something else and create a worse energy. Yeah. Those would be considered a positive vortex or a negative vortex. And either one is extreme. Positive vortexes are like finding a gold mine. And so I'm always hunting for positive vortexes. I'm also on the lookout for negative vortexes, because if you spend any time in a negative vortex, you're going to get sick very quick.
Absolutely. So there is no sense actually to try to improve our personal energy level if we are in an environment which is actually not healthy, so to say, or is not a power place. So that's, of course, Feng Shui is also based in this, isn't it? To make actually a power place out of any place with any kind of tools, just to improve the energy of the place. So yes, so of course, with our, beside what you mentioned about the ground energy, it is also ourselves, which when we enter a room, we bring a certain energy into the room. And right, we are a more conscious human being. We can actually be a cleanser in the environment, like we can, like a catalyst. So right, we can enter a room actually with the intention, if we are on a certain level of energy, of course, if we are on a several level of purity, we can enter, and with our intention, we can just clean it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yep. So the ability to make detections also comes with the dowsing rod, and I'm able to see, okay, if your home or your office is a lower level, say below a 7, our target is a 20 for a good, healthy energy level.
Yes.
10 is kind of an average. But if you get down below a 7, typically, if anybody spends more than a year or 2 or 3 there, they're going to have some health issues. And it seems to correlate with the negative energy.
Yes. Yes.
There are no studies out there that can prove this, but this is what I'm discovering time after time. It hasn't failed yet. If somebody says they're really sick, I check the energy of their house or where they work, and sure enough, they're low. They're down below a 5.
Yes, that's very low, isn't it? I mean, a
Yeah,
0 would be being not alive anymore, isn't it?
it is, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how
So
can
we
human
want to
beings
raise
actually
those.
survive with a 5? This is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So we want to be able to find the low areas and raise them. A lot of times those areas are where we spend most of our time, like on the couch, your recliner, your easy chair, or in your bed, or maybe if you're more of a homemaker and you're doing cooking and cleaning, you're spending more time in the kitchen, or if you're out in the yard and there's positive, negative areas out there. Some people tend to gravitate towards those positive areas because they just feel better. And
Yes.
then other people say, I don't know why I don't feel right. They're not as sensitive, their bodies, they can't read their bodies as much as other people can, but they don't know why they don't feel good. But they
Yes.
can walk into another building and say, well, this building feels really nice and light and airy and
Mhm.
comfortable, and I just have good feelings here. And then other places they walk in, and if its place is a 0, they're going, wow, it's really heavy in here. I don't really like being here. And if it's a business, those businesses probably will not last
Yes, exactly.
because because
No
people will,
options. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and the
No.
people who work there will end up being sick. So it's fascinating. I wish we could have figured this out sooner. I feel kind of isolated in my knowledge. that
Well, I mean, there is definitely, as I said, in Feng Shui, there is definitely also quite a huge knowledge about it. Maybe a
it
bit
is.
from a different side with different tools, but definitely it is
Yeah.
very similar also. So,
Yeah.
yes. So, first of all, if you are starting to work for a client, you are actually checking out environment, isn't it?
I am. Yeah, because that, like you said, if we can help them out and get their energy levels up to their self-healing abilities, it won't do any good if they go back to a low energy environment that steals their energy.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So we have to fix the problem at its source, which is their home or their office,
Yes.
and
Yes.
they're spending time getting their energy drained, and they go back home. They think they're going to relax. That's probably why they can't get off the couch.
Yes, yes. So,
So it may
but
not be
sometimes you
them.
can't. Sorry.
It may not be them. It's probably their environment.
Yes, but sometimes maybe you can't improve the energy of the environment, or it is because from certain factors. What do you suggest to do?
Certain factors. There's a lot of other variables as far as your home environment, and we know that we're being bombarded by microwaves, by telephone waves, television waves. That's what everything is, frequency. Everything is energy. So we're working with energy, and we're trying to neutralize the bad energy. And there are devices out there that you can go to stores and buy to neutralize the EMF energies that come off your TV or your phone. So you can, there are resources out there that can help reduce those forces, those negative man-made manufactured forces. So my
Sorry, Bruce.
that's okay. And
Mm.
so when I work with the energies and raised energies, that can help neutralize those. But the biggest ones that I find that cause the biggest problems are the ones coming from the earth, the geopathic stresses.
Yes,
And if I can
absolutely.
seal that off and fill the area with positive energy, it will stick around for a while before the earth takes over again. So I try to do like a 3-month trial period for them to feel the difference, and
Yeah.
then help them out to raise their energies, and then they're on their own as far as they understand the difference of the feelings between the bad and the good.
Yes.
So that would then be a motivating factor to continue.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I have experienced this also when you have checked on my environment,
Right.
the difference of the energies now, and it's such a, it's such a blessing actually. So before felt like getting into a place which sucks actually your energy constantly, and
Yes.
now getting into a place which improves your energy and up levels you
Yeah,
constantly, like a power place, and that's such a huge difference, isn't it?
it
So I'm
is.
very blessed about this, and I really recommend actually to do this check on environment, because I believe many environments are in a very low level. Even though we can do some cleansings with ourselves, like the atmosphere, for example, by burning some sage or doing certain rituals. Also, meditation is a very great cleaner of environment. You can
Right.
actually go also down to the ground, but not everybody does regularly meditate, and also has such a strong kind of meditation, and
Right.
it has not the same effect. But of course, it is also, you can also check, in voice, for example, how much a place is changing when you do some energy, any kind of energy work or healing work on it.
Right.
Mm.
Right.
So,
And you've also heard of feng shui, right?
yes, that's what I said before, the feng shui. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I
Okay.
have a huge knowledge about it. And my mother was also a feng shui consultant.
Okay.
That's why I got a bit learned a bit about these teachings, which is also
Yeah. By just positioning certain pieces of furniture in your house in certain locations, you can either increase or decrease the good flow of energy.
absolutely. It is all about, every form has an energy. So if
Right.
there is a corner which is aggressive towards you, that's a negative energy. If there is something around that's much more in harmony, uh,
Ah.
it gives out a different energy. So
Right.
actually, anything, in the material manifestation, any form of anything has a message, isn't it?
It
So
does. It does.
that's what I'm very fascinated about. This is all symbolic, and it tells us something about the energy of this certain thing.
Right. And the interpretation of that energy,
Yes, exactly.
and then what you do with it. So
Yes,
I have some music background, and I have sung in 4-part men's a cappella choruses and quartets called Barbershop.
yes,
And we we had this we were practicing for some place. Every place has a different acoustical effect, which is how it
absolutely.
sends
Yes,
your vibration back. Once you send it out, how it comes back to you, or if
yes,
it absorbs it and it disappears, then you have to have amplification. So in old days, before they had electronics and sound speakers and all that, you'd have the natural amphitheaters, or you would have a gazebo where it would be a dome, and
yes,
then you could hear a pin drop all the way on the other side of a room, like in cathedrals. And
yes,
so the
exactly. The
acoustic,
echo.
depending on the building materials and the shapes, like you said,
Yes,
they
yes.
will bring the sound back to you,
Mm,
or they will suck it up. And so
yes.
the energy is that way. That's a great analogy. I just hadn't related those two before. so yeah. So if you can check out the resonance of a room through sound, you can almost detect if that room has negative energy or not.
Yes, absolutely.
The better acoustic effect it has, the better energy it will have, I
Yes,
think. So
yes. It's
it's
related
just
also
for
to the
sound, and
chakra.
sound is energy, and sound is healing. They have.
Yes, yes. Yes, that's so interesting, isn't it? We human beings, we do not know so much yet. We
No,
are
no.
still developing. We have been learning how to build computers and cars and fabrics and this and that, but we haven't learned about ourselves.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So then one thing. So after being cleaning the environment, you
Right.
are checking on chakras, isn't it?
Right. The chakras in front of you are aligned with your endocrine system. They are working with your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, your thyroid,
Yes.
pancreas, your reproductive glands. Um, all of those have external energy centers that are rotating. And when your energy gets stolen and you have lower energies, those rotating chakra energy centers will slow down or stop. They'll
Yeah.
get blockages.
Mm.
They'll quit providing energy to the body part, and those body parts will start shriveling up. They
Yes.
won't take on oxygen. They won't take on water. Um, and so that's when people get old and decrepit and full of acid, and
Yes, exactly.
they can't maintain an alkaline body. And so things end up getting worse for them. So if
Yeah.
we can open up those channels and
Mm.
balance them, they're going to get a fresh supply of energy. And all
Mm-hmm.
of a sudden, those organs that are starting to dry up are going to get wakened up again, and they're going to start working.
Yes. And they can become healthy again. So
Yeah,
the point is actually only, okay, once done this, once done, the environment and everything is good in energy. The problem is that they are going to turn down again.
right.
So how can you teach them to keep the level, or do they have to come constantly back to you again every week to check their energy level?
Yeah, well, everybody's different. So some people are more motivated again to learn about how to do it themselves, and I can teach that, and I can take them through a Reiki course, and I can attune them through the different levels all the way up to master as well.
Yes.
Or if they just want to go about their business and say, I want you to be my health coach,
Yes.
just keep supplying me with energy. I'll do whatever I do, and I don't want to have to deal with that. So then they would be a client that would
Exactly.
continue to receive the good Reiki energy and whatever else I have to offer.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So there's people on both ends and in the middle. So some people, if I can just teach them some simple things with their hands, creating some energy, creating an energy chi ball that they can put on a sore shoulder. I mean, very practical things that
Yes.
anybody can do. And
Yes.
it takes 2 minutes to teach them. So they're already involved. If you get them involved, then they take more.
Yes. 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 So some people, I understand. Some they just don't want to know it. They just want
No,
to actually have an energy coach helping
sure.
them out constantly.
And that's fine.
Some is interested and maybe later also going to teach to others, isn't it? So passing it forward as well. So such a healing package from you, let's say the environment plus the body. How much do you offer this? And how long does this take your work?
Okay. Um, there's a variety of entry points. Just for a simple reading is like $10 to read an energy of a person.
Yes,
Homes are like $40 just to read the energy. To affect the energy, a simple session like a massage session is $50, and that is a complete chakra clearing and balancing.
yes,
Um, if we find out that a house has some low areas and you want to affect, say, just the bedroom, then I can do a $30 per room elevation of the energy of that room that would last about 3 months.
Yes.
That's pretty reasonable.
Yes, I would
I
say.
could turn it, go further and convert it to a complete positive vortex, and I charge more for that because it's going to last up to 2 years or more.
Yes,
So
that,
it all depends on what you want to do and what you're willing to invest in yourself.
yes, absolutely. So, like a trial would be like, what would you say could be a trial? I mean, not a free trial, but a trial for the person to get in touch with you and maybe to get the first feelings of how could it feel. What would you say people should do?
Um, we need to get the readings done first, and lots of times I will waive the reading fee if they are intent upon using my services more. So
Yes,
it is negotiable,
yes,
but you know, you can get started with $50 to
yes,
understand how it affects you. If you
yes.
have one particular pain that we want to work on, maybe I'll just do a $30 session just to work on a specific area.
That's very reasonable.
Yeah, so I mean, for a lot of times when I've worked many things for people and we've spent 2 or 3 hours and we've covered a lot of ground and we've raised a lot of energies and
Yes,
checked them before and after on the readings, you know, they could spend $200 or $300, but it's well spent because it's going to last them a while. And
yes,
then they may come back in for, I have monthly plans from $40 to $80 just for maintaining those levels of 20, 30, or 40
mm,
in your life force energy levels. So you could do that as well.
yes. And of course, it has a huge impact into their lives, also into their businesses, because they're going to work better. They're going to get more better clients. You know, there is so many huge effects that this money comes back 10 times or much more to them.
Right, right. And we can affect businesses that way too. We can improve the environment, and if they want to have their personnel worked with for healing, if with given their permission, of course, you know,
Yes,
we can increase the productivity of a workforce for a business.
yes, yes. Yes, I do also some business marketing as more kind of soul marketing, uh,
Mm-hmm.
where I actually talk to the soul of the business and also call the whole soul world to do some marketing and pass around all the information about a certain business or a service or a person so
Right.
that more souls in the world become to know and come to join for the service, and the business is going to bloom and is going to improve. So
Right.
that's also a good way of it calls soul marketing, and this is
Mhm.
part of soul wisdom from Dr. Master Zhigang Sha. And I use this soul wisdom also for my healing work.
Okay.
It is also very effective.
Yeah,
So
it's a goal of mine to get to businesses, you know, small businesses to start off with, and then get some documented results, and then we have something to go on, to
yes,
encourage other businesses to say, hey, you know, if your business is not doing as well as it should, maybe we should look at the environment, maybe we should look at the personnel, maybe we can improve the business.
yes, yes. There is actually many factors we have to check on why a certain business is successful and another not. So, of course, it has also to do with ourselves. That means, for example, karmic issues. For example,
Sure.
also there is many factors. We should actually talk in one of the next live streams about it. How about abundance? You know, I
Mm-hmm.
and there is some very interesting knowledge also from the Hinduism we can actually use.
Okay, great.
So, Bruce, it was very, very interesting. Uh,
Thank you.
it is I'm very fascinated about your knowledge, uh,
Mm-hmm.
about your work, and I want to really highly recommend you as an energy coach and a Reiki master.
Thank
Uh,
you.
anybody has any, I will post after what is the name of your wellness center?
Water Works Wellness Center.
Yes, exactly. So you can find this on Facebook.
Correct.
Yes, and I will of course also post it under the live stream after. So anybody which is interested, please contact Bruce.
Right. Absolutely.
Get in touch and ask only first. There might be a lot of questions, and if anybody is interested in my services, please have a look into shaninwolf.com. So we will come again, Bruce, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. So next time, I hope we will have somebody joining us. So straight away, you can show us how you are working.
Right. That would be fine. We can demonstrate.
Yes, exactly. So if anybody is watching currently, which is interested to be one of our demo clients, please let us know. We are looking forward to hear from you. So, okay, thank you, everybody. Thank you many times, Bruce. Blessings to everybody. Blessings to your family and all your loved ones.
You as well.
God bless you. All the best. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Bruce. And thank you, everybody, for watching shaninwolf.com, the Healer Community TV channel with Bruce Martin tonight. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.